Cambridge City Council now be in session. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Evancho.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Loffman.
Here.
Leonard.
Here.
McMillan. Wolverton.
Here.
Zaleski.
Here.
Reading of the minutes.
I make a motion, we dispense a reading of the minutes and place on file.
Mr. Wolfton,
I'll second that motion.
all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is granted. Mayor's report. Mayor Warren.
Good afternoon, council. It's that time again. Got a little bit of everything here tonight. Got a little bit of more lengthy report there in front of you. So number one up, let's just jump right into it. Request from code enforcement to appropriate $1,330 to services by contract for mowing. Two, request from utilities director to renew the Division of Wildlife Ohio Department of Natural Resources fishing agreement for the city reservoir. Haven't seen that one for a while, but that's something we do. Number three, request from the police department, A, transfer $66,601 from salaries to vehicles for the purchase of one marked patrol vehicle. B, transfer $12,000 from fuel and to electronics. C, transfer $11,000 from travel and training to electronics. D, transfer $5,000 from equipment to electronics. And E, transfer $5,000 from clothing, maintenance, fitness to miscellaneous to assist with the purchase of a new canine. 4, request from Economic Community Development. A, transfer $7,000 from life, hospitalization, insurance to supplies. B, transfer $10,000 from life, hospitalization, insurance to services by contract. C, transfer $1,000 from life, hospitalization, insurance to travel. D, transfer $1,000 from life, hospitalization, insurance to miscellaneous. 5, request for the appropriate $40,000 to public lands and buildings, fuel and light.
Okay, all those requests will be referred to the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Council President. I just have a couple things here, and I have a special proclamation, but we did have a fire last night, just out of nowhere. It happened, like they do sometimes. Unfortunately, made a pretty big mess. 516 Oakland Boulevard, for those that haven't been by there, it's not very pretty. They normally aren't, but unfortunately, we've just been getting some of these other ones cleaned up, and we had one targeted to try to, so we'll do the best we can. I don't want to give too much information at this point, but again, everything's under investigation, looked at, and fire marshal's been notified, and everybody's doing their job. We think we know the owner of this name and such. We have not much contact yet. I'm hoping we have insurance to work with, and if not, that'll make another big mess, but we'll deal with it the best we can. Unfortunately, that's something that we do. And other not so good information, the Encore factory, we were notified a couple weeks ago that they no longer was going to cease operations in Cambridge. And through very tough times, it makes you bunker down. Made some phone calls, the CIC director along with Job and Family Services, and we had a meeting there last Friday morning. And I got to say, in the middle of all the toughness, there was some bright hopes and possibilities there. Of course, if you're one of those people, and that would be tough, you know, in a way when you're used to doing certain things. I just want to make sure that we stand with them and continue to do everything we can to make sure that they make contact. It was brought to my attention, again, Bill Arnett, James Stewart, the Encore manager, Lisa Rydell, the manager, along with Barb Corba from High Jobs, Sue Thomas from Guernsey County High Means Jobs, and Debbie Leach and John Bateman. It was just a really good meeting. There's some money available for retraining should they want to go down that road. And then there's some other job openings within the county. Some people have made some contacts, and talking to Mr. Stewart, there's been a few people accept jobs already that kind of caught them off guard because they really wanted to keep going for about another 90 days. So anyhow, just putting it out there a little bit, pay attention and be what's going on around us. Now, in that hardship, then we had some other things. As a mayor, I showed up at the Beal stores opened up down there, right where the old Kmart used to be, and they're in full go. And if you haven't been inside there, very nicely put together. You step out of the building, and it wasn't all that long ago, all that was empty. Now there's 3 headings down through the traffic. It's as strong as it's ever been. So, I just go with it sometimes. In the newspaper, I talked to a gentleman that Pacoma Tubular is building a new building down there in the South Gary area, and they'll be open. Their new building will be open in February. So there's some good stuff going on there. Bell Store's down the road. If you just watch that weekly, again, I said it before, I'll say it again, whoever's building that, everyone can learn from whatever's going on there, because there's no messing around down there. Not that there isn't others, it just doesn't go like that for whatever reason. Now, this one here, I know there's no way I can get into all the facts. They are, as we speak, removing the old Birch Bike building and all that. We, the city, that is privately owned, private situation. Unfortunately, the only involvement we have in it is we have to make sure that it's fulfilled when things are unsafe, and that's what it was. For years, we tried to help them figure out a way, but at the end of the day, no one spent any money, and that's what happens. I've said it years ago, it's a tough thing. We can't save them all. We got to try to save what we can. And it's a tough situation. I have heard some promising things that possibly they might want to build something back, but we see how that works sometimes once they start seeing the numbers and different things. But a lot of work going on down there, and of course, all the people who stand around today checking it all out, and I'm sure there's some other reports out there I don't need to know about. But anyhow, doing what we got to do and go from there. Again, I've said it last 2 council meetings, I say it again, fall cleanup, October 14th, 8 to 12. If you're within the sound of my voice, please put it all in the trunk, put it on a wagon, call our departments, do something, get it moving, folks. I said, we've been mowing grass till we can't stand it anymore, and just tonight, I heard there's some more out there. It doesn't surprise me a bit. Why we go around, we mow it, then someone else mows it, and they quit mowing it, and we're back again. I wish I had an answer for it, but it's job security, I guess. And the same thing with limbs. It's that time of year where people trim stuff up. If they're Cambridge residents, move it out to the edge of the road, give the street department a call, and they will pick it up when they can get to it. As we speak, the paving has started in the cemetery, so that's kind of off base for the next 2 days as far as people getting in and out of it. That's going to be a beautiful thing. And again, you might probably seen some of the other treatments going on out there last week, and they put it down, oiled up things, and got things going and swept it all up. Kind of a crazy operation, but that's part of it. Quit asking questions, I just go with it. But he said it makes it last longer. Who am I to say? So if you have any questions, I'll take them now, and I do have a proclamation I want to roll into.
Okay, any questions to the mayor? Ms.
I
Gasko.
apologize, Mayor. I meant to mention this to you today, and as you know, our day just kind of got ahead of us and out of the way. I've had some phone calls, and I know that you've already scheduled it. Could you announce when you've scheduled trick or treat? I know we have time, but I also know there's a lot of folks out there asking the questions, so could you announce when you've made that for?
I don't have the calendar in front of me, but it'll be on the day that trick or treat is there.
October 31st?
Yes, October
Is
31st.
it 5:30 to 7?
Yes, 5:30 to 7. The main thing is I try to stay off Friday, Saturday night, and Sundays for sure.
I think it's a
Help me out, what's
Tuesday.
that
It's a
fall?
Tuesday or a Tuesday?
Tuesday. And I'm hearing through the park, they're going to run a little special activity out there this year leading into the moving of the skating rink. So there's some things coming out there, might be a little different. And it sounds kind of neat, so we'll see how it plays out. Well, Mr. Boyd, you want to come on up here? I got a little special request. We don't get a lot of these things, but when I read this, I got a little emotional there for a minute because it does make you stop and wonder sometimes. We got a problem on Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, September 2023. Whereas childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children. Whereas 1 out of 285 children in the United States will be diagnosed by their 20th birthday. Whereas 46 children per day and 16,790 children per year would be diagnosed with cancer in the USA. And whereas approximately 40,000 children are on active treatment at any given time. The average age of diagnosis is 6 years old, and compared to 66 years for adults cancer diagnosis. And where 80% of children cancer patients are diagnosed late with a metastatic disease, and on average, there's 0.6% increase in incidence per year since the year 1970, resulting in overall incidence increase of 24% over the last 40 years. Whereas 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will have chronic health conditions as a result of the treatment toxicity, with 1/4 being classified as severe to life-threatening. Whereas on 1/2 of the children cancer families rate associated with financial toxicity due to the out-of-pocket expenses and considerable and severe. In the last 20 years, only 4 new drugs have been approved by the FDA to specially treat childhood cancer. And whereas National Cancer Institute recognized the unique research needs of childhood cancer and associated need to increase the funding to carry this out. Now therefore, I, Thomas D. Orr, the mayor of the city, do hereby proclaim September 2023 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Cambridge, Ohio. I encourage all Americans to observe Childhood Cancer and Awareness Month and support this cause so deeply impacts the families in every community across the country. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause and seal the city of Cambridge and affixed on the first day of September in the year of our Lord, 2023, Thomas D. Orr. I pass that on to you, and we'll tell you, I think we all have had this terrible scourge affect our families at one time or another. Is there anything you wanted to mention?
I wasn't prepared to, but
Well, we appreciate you letting us, because had you not made the call, I wouldn't have done this, we wouldn't have took the time out. And we always think what's in front of us is the most important.
this is my platform.
And
Everybody's got, their priorities and the things that's important to them, and this is near and dear to me. My daughter was diagnosed at the age of 4 with leukemia, and then she developed a secondary cancer caused by the chemo to treat her leukemia, and so she had to have a bone marrow transplant. And I'm happy to say, 5 years later, she's still in remission, but her life will never be normal. I mean, the effects of all the treatment things that she had to undergo. And so this is very important to me because she made me promise that someday people would recognize the gold ribbon as much as they did the pink ribbon. Because a lot of businesses, they celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And that's near and dear to me too. I had a sister that had breast cancer, so I don't denounce that. But she wonders why people don't pay as much attention to the gold ribbon as they do the pink ribbon. So as one person in one city and
gold seal, right?
right there. But anyway, it's very important to me. I'm not political by no means, but I just like to get the word out. There's only about 20 counties in Ohio that recognize this, so I'm very happy that Guernsey County is one of them.
Well, again, you being a driving force and keeping us alert, I really appreciate that. Let's give her a hand for that.
Can I have your name for the record, ma'am?
My name is Carmen, Carmen, Boyd, Boyd.
Thank you.
That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. City Attorney, he must be on his phone.
On his phone.
Reports of committees. Oh, excuse, I'm sorry, communications.
The first one I have is the petition for the Port Authority for annexation. As you'll recall, we received this back in July, and I have held it the 60 days. It just now needs to go to city services.
Mr. Vanto,
Motion to refer to city services.
Mr. Overton.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, that motion is granted. Next, please.
I have the monthly report from municipal court.
Mr. Hoffman,
Motion to accept and place on file.
Ms. McMillan,
Second the motion?
all in favor of the motion, signify by saying fine.
Fine.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Change things up.
It's been a long day. Motion is granted. Next, please.
That's all I have.
Okay, very good. We'll go to reports committees now.
Report of Finance Committee, September the 5th. We recommend that the following transfers and appropriations be approved. Transfer $2,000 from Treasurer Travel and School to Supplies. Appropriate $120,000 to municipal court employee salaries. Appropriate $16,800 to municipal court PERS. Appropriate $30,000 to municipal court health insurance.
Any questions in committee on that report? Next, please.
Report of Finance Committee, September the 5th. We recommend that council authorize the administration to enter into design agreement for the North Fifth Street Culvert Replacement Project.
Any questions of the committee on that report? Next, please.
Report of Finance Committee, we recommend that council authorizes an additional appropriation of $6,250 to the airport for the federal fiscal year 2024 plans and specs for rehabilitation of the airfield lighting system and the update of the airport layout plan.
Any questions of the committee on that report? Next, please.
Report of Finance Committee, September the 5th. We recommend that council establish the rate of compensation for the mayor of the city of Cambridge.
Any questions of the committee on that report? Next, please.
Report of Finance Committee, September the 5th. We recommend that council establish the city auditor and law director salaries whose terms begin January 1, 2024.
Any questions of the committee on that report? Next, please.
That's
We'll
it.
move on to unfinished business. Anybody under unfinished business? If not, we'll go to the audience portion. If you wish to speak, come to the microphone. Nobody? Okay, we'll move on to new business. Anything? No. We'll go to ordinances and resolutions.
An ordinance of transfers and appropriations.
Mr. Leonard,
Motion to suspend?
Mr. Zaleski.
Second to suspend.
Roll call on suspension, please.
McMillan?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
And Mr. Lockman,
Motion to pass?
Ms. Hill,
Second to pass.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Excuse me, Leonard?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, please.
An ordinance authorizing the administration to enter into design agreement for the North Fifth Street Culvert Replacement Project.
Mr. Evancho,
Motion to suspend?
Mr. Leonard.
Second?
Roll call on suspension, please.
Loffman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Wolverton,
Motion to pass.
Mr. Leonard.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
McMillan?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, please.
An ordinance authorizing additional funding to the airport authority.
Mr. Zaleski,
Motion to suspend.
Mr. Evancho,
I'll second that motion.
roll call on the suspension, please.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Ms. McMillan,
Motion to pass?
Mr. Loffman,
Second to pass?
discussion? Roll call, please.
Hill?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, please.
An ordinance establishing the rate of compensation for the mayor of the city of Cambridge, Ohio.
Mr. Lockman,
Motion to suspend?
Mr. Wolverton.
Second to suspend.
Roll call on suspension, please.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Mr. Evancho
Motion to pass?
and Mr. Zaleski.
Second to pass.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hill?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, please.
An ordinance establishing the salaries of the city auditor and law director for the terms commencing January 1, 2024.
Mr. Lockman,
Motion to suspend?
Ms. Hill,
Second to suspend?
roll call on suspension, please.
Hill?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Ms. McMillan
Motion to pass?
and Mr. Evancho.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Zaleski?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Evancho?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, please.
That's it.
Okay, we'll move on to miscellaneous. Mr. Evancho,
Yes, Finance Committee will meet next Monday, October the 2nd at 4:30.
Overton?
City services will meet at 4:45 or thereafter finance.
And Ms. Hill? Oh, I thought you,
Yes,
Sorry.
this is just a little public service announcement. I walk in the mornings really early, and typically between 7 o'clock in the morning and 7:30 in the morning, I'm walking up Claremont Avenue, and that is a school zone. And it has, my entire life, there's been a school on that street. And I cannot believe how fast people blow through that school zone. It's incredible. I mean, I actually turned around to look to make sure that light was still flashing this morning. Several cars, even moms that are dropping, or parents, I should say, that are dropping off kids, drive through there so quickly. And I just want to remind you, there's some little kids that are crossing the street. They don't always cross on that crosswalk. And it just worries me that one of these days somebody's going to get nailed, but it's ridiculous. I just wanted to throw that out there to, just keep your eyes peeled. It's still a little bit dark between
yeah, it's
7
about
and
to get-
7:30 in the morning. The
about to
sun
get
doesn't come up
darker.
now until 7:15, so just
Yeah.
so
Mr.
just
McMillan.
asking people to be careful.
Yeah, I just want to let the public know that this Saturday, downtown Cambridge, on Cambridge Main Street, is their annual Fall Festival. And sounds to be like it's going to be a great time. I think they're having the dunk tank. You on the dunk tank this time, Mayor? Oh, okay.
A little cold for a dunk
I'm
tank.
not going to be in town.
It's gonna be chilly.
But I would really like to encourage the community to get out and support downtown Cambridge Main Street. It sounds like lots of fun activities for the kids, craft vendors, food trucks, and so on. So let's get out there and support our town.
Thank you. Everybody else?
I also want to
Yes.
just make an announcement that this coming weekend is the final weekend for the Living Word Outdoor Drama. They have a performance Friday night and a performance Saturday night. So I am honored to serve on that board. And it's amazing how many people you talk to from Cambridge that have been here all their life. I haven't been there yet. I need to get out there and see that. Well, you have 2 more times this year. If not, I'll be bugging you next year. So go check it out. They do a great job,
Are they still looking for extras?
always.
Always, okay. Put that plug out there.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else? If not, Mr. Leonard,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
we are adjourned.
I almost said, but you can't be Jesus.
I was gonna tell